Welcome back, folks. I'm Frizz, and today I'd like to take some time to talk about something that is near and dear to the hearts of basically every spellcaster. Metamagic. Metamagic is a way for spellcasters to adjust their spells for whatever situation they find themselves to be in, and I really do like the way that Paizo approached Metamagic in 2e. Alright, so I feel like it's important to approach mechanics like these, keeping in mind how they functioned in the past. In Pathfinder 1e, Metamagic was exceptionally powerful, and it also complicated things and just in general made spell prep dramatically more nuanced. Basically, you could grab Metamagic feats whenever you leveled up, and then you could apply them to spells that you learned. This would actually increase the level of spell slot that they would use up. So you could increase the range of a spell with the Reach Metamagic feat, but then it'd be a second level spell instead of a first level spell. Metamagic in D&D 5e was restricted to sorcerers, and it allowed them to spend points to affect their spells, but again, it was limited to just sorcerers. In 2e, Metamagic feats work a little bit differently. They're just normal class feats, and they cost an action to use, and then they work with basically every spell. For example, the Reach Metamagic feat increases the range of a spell by 30 feet, and makes touch spells have a range of 30 feet. And to use it, you just spend an action before casting a spell. So, as an example, you spend an action on Reach Metamagic, and then you cast Electric Arc, and instead of having a range of 30 feet, it now has a range of 60. Basically, every Metamagic feat works in the same way, so once you learn one, you've basically learned them all. Well, not exactly. See, there are some Metamagic feats that cost focus points to use, but they are more powerful. For example, Extend Spell can make a spell that normally lasts 1 minute, and extend it to last a full 10. Lingering Composition is great for bards who don't want to spend an action every turn casting Inspire Courage. They can just spend a focus point and roll a performance check to see if they can make it last an extended period of time. Also, Quicken Casting is a really big outlier considering that it allows you to change a 2-action spell into a 1-action spell by spending a free action once a day. It is a bit of an outlier, but it is exceptionally good. This whole system is imperfect though. As Metamagic feats are class feats, that does mean that certain Metamagic actions are restricted to particular classes, and the only way to get them is to take a multi-class archetype for one of those classes. For example, the Conceal and Silent spell Metamagic feats are restricted to wizards and witches, so if you're playing a Cleric of Norgorber, the god of thieves and secrets in Galarian, you can't get the ability to hide your spellcasting unless you decide to be a wizard also, which just feels weird to me and I wish that there was another way to go about it. Now, the way that I'd personally like to see Paizo address this would be to add a new archetype called something like Metamagic Adept, which gets access to the class-specific Metamagic feats at a higher level than the normal one for their normal classes. They could also get some unique Metamagic feats, or, hear me out here, Metamagic, that would allow them to change how Metamagic feats work on a functional level. I know that this sounds crazy, but something as simple as getting temp HP whenever you use Metamagic could really make spending your entire turn casting a 2-action spell feel better. You could also go really wild and allow a Metamagic Adept to, say, spend hit points to use a Metamagic feat as a free action instead of the normal action. Also, either as part of the Metamagic archetype or just a part of normal content releases, I would love to see more Metamagic feats that cost a focus point to use. As it is, a lot of the Metamagic actions aren't really anything that hugely change your game plan, and I really do think that that's a shame. Paizo can get away with a lot and really try and be super creative with feats that have a cost associated with them, and I would just love to see more of, Metamagic feats that have focus points, because I think focus points are honestly one of the best elements of Pathfinder 2e, and I'd like to see more interaction between them and Metamagic. Metamagic is a super fun concept because it allows spellcasters to change their spells to better allow them to match both the situations that they find themselves in and also to better match themselves as a character. Like, your wizard that spends time calling themselves a thief feels dramatically more like a thief if they can actually cast their spells silently. I'd love to see more Metamagic feats in the future, and I dream of seeing a full archetype dedicated to exploring the concept. Either way, I'm super excited to see what Paizo has in store for the future. Thanks for watching. Metamagic feats are really fun since they can actually make casting a spell feel different from how other people cast that exact same spell. What do you peeps think about it? Are there any specific ideas for Metamagic feats that you'd like to see in the future? Let me know in a comment down below, and subscribe for something while you're down there. Regardless, until I see you next, live a wonderful life.